It's funny because when we do clean with me videos, sometimes we'll get comments saying, but your house wasn't even that messy. And you might think that I actually live in a pretty clean home. And I would say my home is generally between a 7 and an 8 out of 10 in terms of cleanliness. But there are times where it just plummets down to a 2. I'm busy, things are going on, Chad's busy, we've got plans, stuff's going on with Riley, and the cleaning straight up falls by the wayside. Well, the good news is we captured that because it just happened. And what we also decided to do was not only show you one area of the house, but because we've done all of the Dream Home Reno videos now, you know what the entire main floor of our home looks like. We're gonna do a whole home major clean with me. I don't want to give it a title that like it's not a disaster cleanup because there wasn't a fire or a flood, but it is big. There's a lot of cleaning that's about to happen. And just a quick reminder, if you haven't done so already, to subscribe to the Clean My Space channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you're excited for New Decade and also excited for our Boxing Day sale over at makersclean.com. We've got what we are calling a 30-20-10 sale going on. Some things are 30% off, some things are 20% off, some things are 10% off. Just visit the website, we've got links down below, and you'll see all of the different sale prices right up there, no coupon code needed. This was kind of the moment where the reality set in. I realized that I had 5 hours of cleaning ahead of me and I just had to face the music and get to work. So the first thing that I like to do whenever I'm tackling a whole home cleaning is laundering linens, because that requires a lot of time and it's one of those cleaning jobs that you can sort of set and forget. So I gathered the linens from our room and Riley's room, threw them in the wash, and then got down to work. Next up, I was dealing with clutter, which is part of wave 1 of my method of cleaning that I often talk about. Once the clutter was out of the way, I started wave 2, which is cleaning and dusting and actually doing all of the work that's needed to put a nice shine and polish on the space. So I got a microfiber cloth, some all-purpose cleaner, and just worked my way around the room from top to bottom. Now in the bathroom, I didn't feel it was necessary to do a full cleaning. Our shower was in pretty good shape. The toilet had been recently cleaned. It was just more a matter of dealing with clutter and linens that were on, towels I should say, that were on the floor, and just kind of putting all the little pieces back together. You can see my skincare routine has kind of gotten out of control over there, so it did require a bit of organization. I also find that with the white countertops, they often get messier quicker. So I find it a requirement to clean these more frequently than I did in my old bathroom, which was kind of like a laminate countertop that had like a marbly finish to it. I cleared out the towels. I also checked the garbage in case it needed to be emptied. Kind of kicked everything into the hallway, which is the central location where all of the stuff that needs to go somewhere else is going to go. And then I went into Riley's room. With her, the biggest mess that we see, clothing and books, because she loves going to her bookshelf and pulling out her favorite books. Dinah Snores, Barnyard Dance, all the Sandra Boynton titles are really big right now. Sophie, so she likes to find those, pull them out, and then of course she makes a mess in the process. Now usually Chad and I are pretty good about having her help out with the cleanup, but in this case, we had let everything go, so it was my job to do the touch-up. Now, in her room, I also make sure to clean her change pad and the cabinet fronts as well as the points of contact, because a lot of stuff happens in these little people's rooms, and that's what I really wanted to focus on. But the rest of the surfaces weren't really dusty or dirty. It was more, I was looking for those bacteria hotspots and giving those a good clean, and then just doing a general tidy, and once that was done, I was good. Now, this bathroom needed a lot of TLC. Not only is this Riley's bathroom where we bathe her every night, but it is also the guest bathroom, so it gets a lot of traction. First and foremost, I like to replace hand towels frequently, as well as regular bath towels. I find especially with hand towels, like if guests are coming in, I always like to have them not more than a day or two old, just because, you know, trying to keep germs to a minimum and being respectful of the people that come through our home. I want to make sure they're always using something clean. In a bathroom, it's really important to pre-treat areas that are going to be cleaned well ahead of time so that you don't have to do a lot of cleaning or scrubbing later on down the line. Now with this tub, I find it doesn't get too dirty, but it does get some soapy residue because of, Riley taking a bath in there just about every day. So I decided to give this a little pre-treater and then just give it a quick general wipe down. Again, it didn't need a scrub, it just needed more of a surface clean. Next up, I'm pre-treating the mirror here, just giving it a spray, doing the same thing with the counter. And you can see I'm kind of throwing everything on the floor. And this is how I like to roll with cleaning because I know I deal with the floors last anyway, so if anything goes on there, I don't worry about it too much. Using my famous S pattern with that flat weave microfiber cloth, getting a real nice shine on the mirror there. Same thing goes for the faucets, making sure they look great. When people come over and they see watermarks on the faucet, it's not a big deal, it doesn't mean it's dirty, but when there isn't anything there, it just looks so good. Now with the counters, I'm just doing a quick S pattern, eye level test, and then I'm moving right into getting the sinks clean. And again, the thing with doing these in-between cleans, even though there was a lot of stuff to clean up, it wasn't dirty, it was just more the mess that needed to be cleaned. Doing a wipe down with a microfiber cloth is sufficient. Moving right over to the toilet, you'll see, actually I get asked about this a lot. I took some paper towel with me because I don't like cleaning my toilets with microfiber cloths. I find, I don't like the thought of that from a cross-contamination standpoint, which is why I just like to use paper towel. And I always work from the top to the bottom, giving everything a good wipe. I also get comments sometimes about not wearing gloves, but I can tell you, I know who's been on this toilet. It doesn't worry me too much, so I was okay to not use gloves here. Plus, it's not like I went and, baked a cake after this without washing my hands. The other thing that's important when you're cleaning a toilet is to clean the areas around the toilet, which is why I sprayed and then started wiping using the S pattern. And this is actually how I like to clean the floors in the bathroom. I lovingly call it the Cinderella method or the hands and knees method. And you'll also see that when I'm done using my microfiber cloths, I just toss them on the floor when I'm cleaning the bathroom. And those are the cloths that I end up using to wipe the floors down. Now you might say, well, why wouldn't you just mop? Truthfully, I could, but then I'd have to bring an extra cleaning tool, and this is just so easy and efficient. I also like that I don't have to sweep or vacuum. This not only gets up any dirt on the floor and stains, but it also gets hair. And that is the biggest challenge for me in the bathroom. Okay, all done. Now, any of the clutter that I found along the way, I just threw in the hall. So it's at this point that I'm going to take everything with me and move out of that area and into the other half of the home. Just for full disclosure, I decided not to clean the guest room because it really didn't need a cleaning. So why am I gonna waste my time cleaning something that doesn't need it? I'm on to my second load of laundry now. I've got my linens in the dryer and I've just put all of the towels into the washing machine. Now, collecting myself, and I'm starting the great room. So talking about the 3-wave system, I start in one part of the room, usually at a doorway, and I work my way around. The first thing that I do, the first wave, is tidying and organizing and getting rid of garbage or things that don't belong. So you'll see me just working my way around this room, kind of cleaning up, moving things out of the way, but not actually doing any cleaning. This is important because we'll cover the cleaning in the second wave. But the reason we do this first, or I do this first, is because it allows me to have a much easier time actually cleaning if I'm not dealing with clutter. So it was just a method that I came up with to simplify the flow of cleaning. It's also nice to do the 3-wave system because during the first wave, you can identify certain things that need attention for the second wave and make sure that you don't have to, run out in the middle of your second wave of cleaning and grab, say, a vacuum or another cleaning tool. You've got everything there and you know what's required. Now these leather couches, I'm not actually cleaning with product, I'm just using a dry cloth to give them a quick dust. Next up, I grabbed my flat weave microfiber cloth. This is dry, and I'm just using the S pattern to give my TV a quick wipe down. We love using flat weave microfiber cloths cleaning electronics because it means we're not going to get any scratches on our surface. One of Riley's recent obsessions is stickers, and cleaning stickers off the floor has become somewhat of a part-time job around here. So the easiest way to deal with them, at least that I've found, is just to quickly moisten them with a little bit of water or all-purpose cleaner. Then I grabbed a scraper. If you don't have one of those, you can use the dull edge of a butter knife or an old credit card and just gently work your way back and forth until that sticker comes up. I find this job annoying, but I also know how much Riley loves stickers, so I try to find balance. I know you probably think we had 25 people over by the looks of it, but no, these are all our shoes. They just didn't get put away. So again, part of my job, starting off with just tidying, getting clutter out of the way, and then priming the space for the actual cleaning that will take place during the second wave. And if you're curious, hey, what happens in the third wave? It's all floors. So we'll get to that at the very end. One cleaning tip, something you might see me do, is whenever I clean something on the wall, I like to support it with my non-dominant cleaning hand. This is just a habitual thing that I've learned over the years as a professional cleaner. That way, if something isn't installed properly on the wall, you don't have to worry about it coming crashing down. The dining room is kind of like an office for us here. It's where we all meet as a team and where orders and Amazon boxes end up going and microfiber cloth samples. So yeah, this room can get a little overwhelming at times. I had quite a bit of clutter to clean up in here, but because the room doesn't get used too frequently for its primary purpose, which is dining, I didn't have too much work to do aside from just cleaning the floors once all of this reorganization and tidying was all done. The stink face is real. This kitchen, it was in rough shape. Like there were meals that were just left on the table and not even tidied up. I'm actually not embarrassed to show this to you because I know that this happens in homes all over the world, but yeah, this was not our proudest moment. So as always in the kitchen, whenever I feel overwhelmed, the first place to start is always the dishwasher. I make sure that it's unloaded so that I can start loading up the dishes, because to me, once the dishes are out of the way, then I can really get down to business. One of the habits I learned during my waitressing days was to consolidate as much as I could. So stacking plates, getting all the food on one plate, just makes things a lot easier for transporting around the kitchen and for scraping food into the compost bin. So if you haven't tried that before, you can give that a try the next time you have a major kitchen cleanup to do. Since I had so many things that had to be cleaned, I decided to hand wash a lot of items because I didn't want them to wait until the next load. Plus, some of them were questionable. Like, you have those items and you're like, should I put it in the dishwasher? Should I not? I knew the majority of these I should hand wash, but when I'm super lazy, sometimes they end up in the dishwasher. Anyway, I decided to just go full force and I hand washed everything. A great thing to do when you're hand washing is to also order your items from cleanest to dirtiest, so that way your sponge doesn't get dirty right off the bat and you can clean your dirtiest stuff at the very end. My waffle weave dish towels really came in handy here, and so many people have commented to us over the years and have said, why are they so big? Well, they're big because when you have a lot of dishes to do, you don't want a small, little, insignificant dish towel. You want something that's gonna be able to handle the job. So finally, once the dishes were done, I could tackle the quote-unquote clutter in the kitchen. I was able to get rid of some recycling, and this yellow pan here I actually pre-treated while I was doing some of the other work, so I wouldn't have to scrub as much or work as hard with cleaning. That's why I always tell you pre-treating is key. And the funny thing is, it's not that I've really done any cleaning in the kitchen per se, aside from handling the dishes, and you can see it already looks so much better. So if you don't stay on top of the dishes, man, it can really get you down. Next up, and this is just part of my regular kitchen cleaning routine, I will spray all surfaces in the kitchen, horizontal surfaces, so the dining room table, the kitchen table, and all of the countertops. I just give those a nice spray, and then by the time I get to the last place to spray, the first place that I've sprayed is ready to be wiped down. The product has had enough time to work, it started to break things down, so I have to do significantly less work here. Cleaning the sink is one of the last things that I do, and I love throwing a bit of baking soda in there just to add that scouring power, and it really makes such a difference. I get a nice, shiny, clean sink, and then to really put the sparkle on, I polish it up, and it looks wonderful. The third and final wave of my 3-wave system, which makes perfect sense because it's a 3-wave system, is taking care of the floors. So I'm just using my stick back here. I've got my different attachments going, and that way I can take care of all the different areas in the space. At this point, I'm also looking to see, do the baseboards need anything? Do any of my vents need any extra attention? And that way I can give it to them, but I'm not, doing all of the baseboards or all of the vents. I was more eyeballing to see what was in need. And then if I noticed something, at that point I would do it. Getting the linens out and remaking the bed was pretty much the last thing I had to do, aside from taking that towel load and putting that in the dryer. But you know what? I've done enough. I think someone else can handle making the bed, at least for today. And to Chad's credit, he makes our bed every day because he sleeps in later than I do, and he does a real good job. Keep up the great work, Chad. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that cleaning totally knocked the wind out of my sails. It was about 5 hours between the bathrooms and the kitchen, which took over an hour on its own. And of course, when you're sped up, you can't really tell, but that was a lot of work. Now, all that to say, the house really felt gross before and felt amazing afterward. And a lot of you know that I hate cleaning. I'm not one of those people who loves and celebrates the act of cleaning. I really don't enjoy it while I'm doing it, but I really enjoy the results. So even while I was kind of struggling through it and using all of my professional cleaning ninja skills, I reminded myself that the end result was going to be totally worth it, and it was. And I'm curious, and this is this week's comment question, which is, do you prefer to do these long marathon cleans and have incredible results at the end, knowing that your space is going to feel amazing and look welcoming and near perfect and cozy when you're done? Or are you the kind of person that prefers for your house to be mostly clean and you'll just do a room here or 30 minutes there whenever you get the chance? That's kind of more my style, only because I don't like spending too much time doing it, but I know if I want the results, I really have to do the marathon clean. So let me know your thoughts and preferences in the comments down below. I can't believe this is the last time I'm gonna be saying this in 2019, but here goes. If you wanna see what we're up to during the rest of the week, you can follow along on Instagram. I'm at Melissa Maker. Chad is at the Chad Reynolds. The two of us are at Clean My Space. If you like the Clean My Space channel and you want to support what we do, the easiest way to do that is just to watch another video right after this one, and here are a couple that I think you might love. If you want to learn more about Maker's Clean microfiber cloths, you can click this button right over here. There is a button down there that lets me know you care, so click it if you liked this video, and click this button right here to subscribe and begin your journey to a cleaner life. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time in 2020 in a new decade.